All right, hey guys, Levy Freeman here again, and I guess we're just playing some Wilhelm's Nightmare, and that didn't go so hot for us. We got shit on by our fucking Austrian quote unquote allies. They weren't even in the Reichspakt, and they still managed to ruin the game for me. You know, that's the way Austria is. They're just like a giant fucking spoiler, aren't they? Fuck Austria. All my homies hate Austria. So we do something else, maybe unwind a little bit. Like, Wilhelm's Nightmare is a pretty tense fucking scenario. And maybe we'll give it a go again later. I think if I do play Wilhelm's Nightmare again, I probably won't stream it though. I'll probably maybe I'll do an attempt here or there. And if I do manage to win, then maybe I will post her. But the request we got here was for Federalist China. And I'm pretty sure the way you play Federalist China is you're just going to play on League of Eight Provinces. And if you're a Kaiserreich player, you're going to know that League of Eight Provinces collapses like pretty early on in the game. And then you can pick either the Feds or the Anking or the Nanjing Clique or Left Kuomintang. You can also get Left Kuomintang playing as this tag. So I guess we'll go for this. I have never actually played as the Federals before, so I'm not sure what they're like at all. I'm also not sure how to get them specifically, so we might screw that up. I'm pretty sure the Federals wind up with like this land down here. So you might start off by, I don't know, building some factories over there. I don't know. There's also two Federalist like there's the Hunanese. Then there's like Chen Jiangming's fucking guys. And I think you can also get like the Guangdong, Guangzhou thing going on or something like that. So it's like there's like a bunch of shit going on with the southern China. And I'm not sure exactly how it works. Like I said, never played it before. So I guess we'll just pick a spot and we'll build some factories there. How about HOI maybe? Sure. I'm also not sure what researches we get, but of course, if you are going to play Hearts of Iron 4 and you see that your country has only basic infantry equipment, you're going to want to fix that situation right away. So let's just pick some researches. We're not the Federals yet. It's like I'm not going to really bother too much about caring about what Nanjing Clique gets because it's probably not going to be relevant for us at all. Let's pick that anyways. Build shit, whatever. Imperial Cornerstone. Forged amid last decade's wars and expanded to its current size following the defeat of the Northern Expedition, Sun Quan Fang's League is a loose confederation of provincial governments oriented around his stronghold in Nanjing. Though united by its members' fear of central government control, the League is nonetheless a cornerstone of the empire, buttressing Beijing against both external threats and internal challengers by virtue of shared heritage. This tenuous arrangement has brought years of peace and with them relative prosperity. Foreign industrial methods have proven transformational, and Sun's armies now include several German-trained and equipped divisions at their core. The League Marshal has come to sit atop a vast bureaucratic pyramid, a position he is more than happy to keep despite the cracks that have begun to appear at its base. German material aid necessary to offset pressure from Beijing and the League's fractious southern members has not served as a source of strength alone. German money trickles into every level of the League's hierarchy, feeding an already ingrained unhealthy taste for corruption, with officials complicit in everything from embezzlement to the stolen antiquities trade. This has gradually stoked the fires of popular discontent, increasingly harnessed by nationalistic agitators and fueled by the elusive remnants of the Kuomintang. For all Sun's efforts to draw the fragmented League together, it may be drifting all the further apart. Still, these domestic squabbles are outshone by the rising sun, which looms large in the east. Beset by internal conflicts, the League must rise to this challenge or else risk annihilation. Briefings are available on the League's special mechanics, its relationship with the Germans, and its internal politics. I'm not going to bother reading any of this shit. We're not going to be playing as the Nanjing Clique anyways, so... Sun Chongfang meets with governors. League Marshal Sun Chongfang met today with the governors of the 5 eastern provinces, who the public has been told discussed matters of regular governance and administration. The rice crop in Jiangxi has been poorer than expected this year, said Governor Deng Rizhuo. It's important that taxes are adjusted appropriately to compensate. The absence of officials from Guangdong, Guangxi, and Hunan, as well as the presence of purely military figures like General Qi Ziyuan, has led some to believe that this meeting actually concerned more serious matters of state security. Interesting. Kornilov has stormed Moscow. So I didn't set any custom rules this time, so it's just if Kornilov storms Moscow, that's because Kornilov storms. Oh, I forgot to read that. I think this is the one. So basically, what just happened there, I have played as left KMT and as Nanjing. So basically, what happens is that the Chinese put a lot of work into building this railroad, and then the Germans have bought it, and people are pissed off about that. Because they thought it would be Chinese, it would be elevating the Chinese and bring them their own prosperity, but it was in fact the Germans, moreover, just exploiting their labor again. So we've got protests. Unsurprisingly, the consolidation of the Central China Railway under AOG management is met with widespread criticism. Intellectuals have condemned the move in domestic papers, followed by prominent Anglo-American publications out of Shanghai, and echoed by syndicalist party periodicals found on factory floors. More troubling, however, the news has spread rapidly by word of mouth and has grown all the more outrageous and fantastical in the process. Tales now describe extensive webs of conspiracy, disappearances of outspoken individuals, and the supposed transfer of millions of yen into the League Marshal's own pockets. The public's reaction has been predictably furious, and protests have already spread from Zhejiang and Jiangxi to the major coastal cities, including the foreign settlements. The peasants have nothing better to do? Fucking peasants. Attacks on foreigners. Beginning with assaults on prominent German citizens and having grown to become virtually indiscriminate, attacks on foreigners by emboldened patriotic citizens are spreading like wildfire. The German consulate in Nanjing has advised the Kaiser's subjects to arm themselves and travel only when necessary. The consulates of most other nationalities may soon follow suit. The impact of these attacks on businesses and investment remains to be seen, but recent history suggests that Shanghai Stock Exchange will not remain unaffected. Troubling. Boycotts in Beijing. Talk of a boycott on German goods has accompanied growing protests throughout eastern China, provoked by an assortment of Kuomintang agents, religious cultists, and nationalist ideologues. More disturbingly, some local garrisons have stepped back and allowed the unrest to grow, unwilling to risk being labeled Hanjian or race traitors, in order to ward off intervention from Beijing. Advisors from the Nanking Commission have suggested that League Marshal Sun publicly declare the situation is under control. Elements of several divisions based in Nanjing stand ready to be deployed to the cities along the lower Yangtze, where protests are largest and provincial garrisons can be given the green light to take whatever action they deem necessary to quell the dissent. Use maximum force. Dissent must be quelled. Railway bombings. Explosions have rocked several stations and rail lines slated to become part of the Central China Railway, with one bomb shredding a train car in a crowded station at Hangzhou, leaving dozens killed and injured. The deaths and delays have brought transportation to a standstill in many areas and has slowed the deployment of additional forces to quell the growing unrest. Blame for the attacks has been leveled against various targets, from bandits to the KMT to Japanese agents. Some especially conspiracy-minded individuals have suggested a German involvement, who they suggest are targeting their own possessions to set the stage for an intervention. Terrorism. Bastards. Edward VIII, King of Great Britain, for him. Reports from north and south. Troubling reports have reached Nanjing from both Zhuzhou and Guangzhou. In the Jiangfu insurgent zone, the KMT guerrillas have staged a series of increasingly bold raids, striking around the inland cities of Yongding and Longyuan. Governor Zhu Yinren has long struggled to assert control over his mountainous province, with control often limited to the coast and the larger inland cities, and now his grasp grows all the more tenuous. Meanwhile, in Jiangsu, Governor Zhang Junyan reports increased agitation by Yiguandao adherents spreading over the border from Shandong. These religious fanatics have been a point of long-standing frustration for the governor, but their involvement may well be encouraging the rising unrest. Temporary setbacks. It is but a temporary setback. Telegram from Beijing. A telegram has been received from Beijing, apparently sent at the direction of the Imperial Commissioner Wu Peifu, who sits as Qing Army Minister and the undisputed head of the nation's central military apparatus. The message inquires about the current chaotic state of affairs, clearly worded with the intent to force League Marshal Sun to admit some weakness or hardship. The central government, under Wu's direction, has repeatedly attempted to extend its direct authority south, but so far such efforts have been in vain. Our response must be careful and measured, demonstrating that we need no central government assistance to disperse these insurrectionists. Everything is under control. It's not under control. This afternoon, protests in the city of Wuhu, bolstered by striking workers from nearby German-owned factories, quickly escaped police control. The garrison itself, reinforced by a section of German-trained troops from Nanjing, attempted to restore order, but in the confused melee, someone started shooting. Within a matter of minutes, police, the garrison, and the reinforcing troops had begun firing on the crowd and each other. Over 200 are already confirmed dead, with 4 times as many likely wounded, and the resultant outrage has already sparked protests in the surrounding areas. The situation is made all the worse by the presence of a small foreign settlement within the city. Many are claiming that lethal force was only used in order to protect these foreigners, and the killings will most likely feature in international newspapers by tomorrow morning. If things get any worse, as a matter of fact, they can, as we'll find out in a minute here. And King refuses further cooperation. Citing the recent incident at Wuhu, Governor Chen Tiaoyuan has issued an ultimatum calling for the withdrawal of all non-provincial forces from Anhui, as well as the immediate handover of those officers responsible. Though Chen assures the League that his own soldiers will continue to quell the spreading unrest and disorder, he refuses further cooperation with League authorities and denounced the creation of Central China Railway, which he blames for pushing patriotic citizens to the edge of despair. Under normal circumstances, this behavior would be unacceptable, but Chen's stance has already proven popular, and decisive action could serve to further divide the now fragile League. Must bide our time. Oh, Black Monday. Uh-oh. Black Monday. Happens to every country. Well, it doesn't happen to every country, but it happens to a lot of them. Let's do, I don't know. Northern Doctrine School. Dissension in the ranks. Word of suspended pay has already spread as far as the League's junior officers, and the reaction has been predictably negative. For some, this will mean an end to the lifestyle of vice and extravagance, at least for the time being, but for many a common soldier, there's a difference between life and starvation. The officers' grumbling is made all the worse by a small but vocal clique of officers sympathetic to Chen Tiaoyuan's cause, arguing that the League should never have become so dependent on German handouts. In the barracks and in the streets, soldiers are being riled up by Yiguandao adherents, seeking converts and preaching against foreign wickedness. While Kuomintang and other leftist groups hide in the shadows, disseminating propaganda and denouncing imperialist collaboration, nothing has yet come of these activities, but what was once routine unrest is now threatening to undermine the very foundations of the League. Rebellion will be punished. We lose some divisions. Of course, we're not going to be playing as these guys anyway, so it doesn't matter. Uh-oh. A heinous crime! Sun Chongfang lies mortally wounded, shot from behind by an assassin disguised as a serving woman. Oh god. His brave bodyguards were able to quickly overpower and imprison the woman, but rumors have already begun to spread and swirl. The incapacitation of the League's only widely recognized leader is an unprecedented disaster, and unless he recovers soon, a successor is unlikely to be chosen without considerable bloodshed. Without effective leadership and the political fragmentation all but a certainty, the ongoing crisis will surely spin out of control. The League's fate lies in the balance. Who could be responsible? I blame the KMT. Damn KMT. Secret negotiations with Shangguan Yunxiang. With the threat of rebellion from Chen Tiaoyuan to our west and chaos to the south, we need to guarantee a corridor from where we can reach our troops in the south. While Chen Yi is shown to be loyal, there is a threat that he may choose to ally with Chen Tiaoyuan, cutting us off from our southern army. We could appeal to his subordinate who has never been content with his position and offer him with the governorship, though he is a greedy man and may desire far more than what we could offer. Of course, there is always a choice to trust Governor Chen Yi. Do we care about this? spreading insubordination. Telegrams have been flooding in all morning, accompanied by the din of ringing telephones throughout the League Marshal's palace, together describing a rapidly deteriorating situation across much of the League. With no promise of pay, soldiers in Zhuzhou, Nanchang, Quanzhou, and several other cities are either refusing to act or outright joining the spreading violence and looting. While police and garrisons in Hangzhou and Wuxi have gone on strike, riots there and elsewhere are gradually escaping all semblance of control and made all the worse by Sun Chongfang's incapacity. Troubling telegraph lines south of Fujian appear to have been cut, leaving us entirely in the dark as to the likely worsening situation in Guangzhou and Guangxi, while Nanjing itself is now practically in the throes of violent revolution. The marshal's son must wake soon. I don't think he wakes up ever, actually. Nice. So I guess Wu Peifu decided to back Nanjing. Riots reached the marshal's palace. The Nanjing police have been unable to contain one of the many riots spreading across the capital. As officers de facto sit idle and onlookers join the chaos, looting and burning homes, businesses, and now government offices, the hasty arrival of military units under the command of General Qi Ziyuan, already deployed nearby, seems enough to protect the marshal's palace. Just the roar of flames and the burgeoning crowds are audible even with the chamber where Sun Chongfang lies deep in a coma. Like rats fleeing from a sinking ship, officials have been observed scurrying away into the back streets and alleyways, arms burdened by silver coins, papers, and perhaps government secrets. What are we to do? So, of course, this is like one of the countries that probably gets hit the worst. We will cynically scum. General Qi assumes control. Following a closed meeting lasting nearly 4 hours, Qi Ziyuan has emerged to declare himself acting League Marshal and promises to restore order to the fractured League. Already his forces have begun asserting control over Nanjing's arsenal, military headquarters, and major thoroughfares, broadcasting the news by megaphone and clearing the streets with enfilades of rifle fire. Cities along much of the lower Yangtze have already begun declaring for Qi, but communications with several provinces have broken down. With Sun's condition deteriorating, he's unlikely to be only an acting League Marshal for long. A coup in all but name. Right, so Qi rules Nanjing, and we have Marshal Wu Peifu's backing. That's great for them, I guess. Tian, yeah, so we're at war with Nanking now, of course. That bastard. Alright, that guy we're talking about decided to join Nanking, and we control Nanjing Arsenal. That's cool. Get some German guns. We got Van Falkenhausen, cool. We got Ostasian friends. Li Guanggang succeeds. So I'm pretty sure this is the one that we want to pick, because we're going to play as the feds. Silence from the south was broken this evening by a declaration from Governor Chen Jiangming, speaking on behalf of both the Guangdong and Guangxi provinces. They have together succeeded from the League of immediate effect. The general denounced the League's disregard for the rights and needs of the people and singled out acting League Marshal for special criticism, but stopped short of outright declaring hostilities. With Anhui province already openly insubordinate, this turn of events is disastrous, and in most cases would merit a response. The news was received by way of telegraph from Hong Kong, which also reported the public humiliation and execution of numerous League officials in Huizhou, but exact details remain scarce. Free China will start in Li Guanggang. Alright. Cool, so we got Li Guanggang over here. The situation in Li Guanggang. Li Guangguang? I don't know. Lianguang? I'm not sure how you even pronounce that. With the League of 8 provinces falling into open warfare to secure Nanjing, Chen Jiangming, the governor of Guangdong, announced the immediate succession of the province from the League. Denouncing the League as corrupt and unable to protect the rights and welfare of the people, he was followed suit by Governor Lu Rongting of Guangxi in the west. Accordingly, the provincial assemblies of Guangdong and Guangxi held a joint meeting in Guangzhou, electing Chen Jiangming as extraordinary governor general of Li Guanggang, or Lianguang. I don't know why I say Li Guang. That's obviously not that solid. That's obviously not how that's pronounced. Lianguang. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. While the two Guangs are united in defense against bandits, the ambition of warlords from the disintegrating League, this new union of provinces is already proving to be struggling. The leaders of Guangdong and Guangxi are only united by pragmatism, the two having widely different aims for the region, let alone China as a whole. Liu Rongting leads a highly militarized province, while Chen leads a varied republican coalition in one of the few functioning democracies in all of China. Liang Guang may avoid the bloodshed of the collapse of the League, but it will not avoid the consequences of Beijing's failure to keep China vaguely united. Okay, so we'll have tell me more about Liang Guang. Briefly introducing Liang Guang. Wow, it's like, these countries, some of them just come with a fucking novella to read, don't they? Liang Guang, or Two Guangs, is a geographical term representing the provinces of Guangxi in the west and Guangdong in the east. The viceroyalty of Liang Guang was first created during the Ming Dynasty, but would be dissolved and reformed numerous times until the final dissolution in 1911. Its official name was the lengthy Governor General, Commander and Quartermaster, Supervisor of Waterways, and Inspector General of the two expanses, Guangs, and surrounding area. Guangdong Province is one of the most wealthy and developed parts of China, with Guangzhou rivaling Shanghai, Nanjing, and Beijing. However, its recent history is marred with warfare and destruction, with the province losing Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangzhou to Western imperialists in the 19th century. While the Xinhai Revolution eventually brought further ruin by numerous wars between warlords and turbulent rule of the Kuomintang. Since the failure of the Northern Expedition in 1926, the province has been governed by Chen Jiangming and has seen a remarkable recovery and growth, developing a young provincial democracy in the province. Guangxi, meanwhile, has been ruled by Liu Rongting, who is seen as a quintessential warlord. The province has been highly militarized, and its soldiers are well known across China to be some of the best. However, this high level of militarization has been costly, and whether Guangdong has been essentially keeping the Guangxi army afloat, creating an independent relationship between the two provinces, as Guangxi troops often supplement the smaller Guangdong army. What about all these factions? Factionalism in Liangguang. While Chen Jiangming currently leads a wide coalition of Republicans, the Grand Republican League, it contains numerous factions outside of his own political party. The Public Interest Party, or Zigongdang, was founded in 1925 by Chen Jiangming and his ally Tang Jiao. Its ideology can be compared to the Western social democracy, wanting to improve civil and workers' rights throughout China. Mainly, however, it is the most important federalist party in the country, calling for the central government to be reorganized as a federal republic and multi-party democracy. The Productive People's Party, led by Chen Mingshu, it's got a fistful of Chens here, don't we? Is essentially a front organization for the moderate left Kuomintang in Guangdong. While also social democrats like the Federalists, they differ as the PPP's ideology and philosophy is based on Sun Yat-sen's three principles of the people and his teachings. The major obstacle in working closer with the Federalists is the bad history between the two parties' founders, who violently split before the Northern Expedition. While not a political party, the Merchants Public Safety Organization, the paramilitary organization of the Guangzhou Chamber of Commerce, is highly influential. Led by Chen and Lianbo, their main goal is to protect businesses and trade from bandits and irresponsible politicians. They have noticeable ties with Hong Kong and German businessmen, making them a target of local anti-concessionists as the AOG struggles to recoup their massive losses from Black Monday and the League collapse. In Guangxi, the provincial assembly is little but a rubber-stamping one for the army. As such, there is a little open opposition to the Guangxi clique from political groups. The clique's main enemies currently hide in Yunnan as Li Zongren patiently waits for his chance to strike and retake the province for his clone clique aligned with the right wing of the Kuomintang. Alright, Governor Chen will see us through, I guess. Non-aggression pact with Hunan. With the collapse of the League of Eight Provinces, the United Provinces of Liangguang and the province of Hunan have naturally drifted together in the face of potential retribution from Nanjing. Chen Jiangming and Zhao Hengzi are both federalists, believing in provincial and national constitutionalism, and the importance of the rule of law in these chaotic times. As such, the two have been cooperating since the dawn of the League in the first place, working together to secure the region's autonomy from Nanjing and consequently Beijing. The two governors have thus agreed to stay neutral in the conflict in the former League and focus inward instead. Excellent. So we get 30 PP for this. All right, so we are now on the faction, I guess, that we're going to be playing for this run over here. At least another 45 minutes. Maybe we'll continue tomorrow or Sunday. All right, so we started off. We have only 7 divisions, which is a bit sad. Our leader is Chen Jiangming, who has a whole fucking biography over here, which I guess you can pause and read if you want to. We have increased factionalism, which is, that sucks. You get negative 25 stability and negative 10% political power gain. That's pretty brutal. Anti-concessionist wave. Another negative 10 stability, negative 10% factory output, and we have daily market liberal support. That's probably pretty bad. Divided military, so we have negative 10% division organization, negative 10% planning speed. And Guangxi's struggling economy, which gives us consumer goods 10%, physical power gain negative 5%. Wow, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad series of national spirits that we have there. So we are social liberals. We have 31.99% popularity, so sure, whatever. I mean, that's not terrible. Volunteer only, export focus. We have toaster economy. Lu Rongting is our head of government, who gives us army experience gain and land for construction speed. It's not terrible. Political power, I mean, that's nice. Construction speed. I mean, the administrative genius is like an okay one. It's not the best one, but still pretty good. It's all green. And we have consumer goods factories minus 2% and political power gains. Like, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good guy to have. So, political power gain, we're going to have 0.57 after you pick a focus. Like, that's pretty anemic. Very bad. Stability is dog shit. War support's pretty average. We got lots of manpower, of course. We are Chinese. We have a pretty tiny economy of only 12 factories. Our fuel capacity is 52.7k, so like, not huge, but it's not like we're going to be using a lot anyways. Researches. So it looks like we didn't actually finish. It is only February. So it looks like we didn't actually finish any researches. So we are starting from scratch. So we have basic guns, which is pretty awful. We have trucks, though, and we have mountaineers. We have engineers. We have Wall Creek Air Tank research already. That's nice. We have artillery. We have no doctrine. We have 1936 ships for destroyer and cruiser and smoke screens. We are missing a lot of the... we have no torpedoes. We're missing this stuff over here. We do not have transports. We have that first mine tech as well. No naval doctrine. We have interwar fighter and interwar tactical bomber. No air doctrine. We have no engineering, and we have no industrial speeds. It's like, it's not the worst. Group of researches. I think we picked the Guangdong Type 27 over here, and let's also go ahead and pick up our machine tools. So we are a little bit behind on the research. And we also start with no production efficiency on these lines, which is also pretty brutal. I think we just make rifles for the time being. Maybe get one factory on Darty. Artillery can be pretty good, for these early game wars. I think maybe one factory would be enough. We're gonna want to probably go into tanks after. It's always good to have tanks. Factories. Maybe we should look at our civilian or our national focus tree before I decide what to build. We only have one dockyard, so we'll just make convoys for now. Do we have any other ships that we're allowed to make? No, we do not. Alright, so that's researches, diplomacy. I think we have a non-aggression pact through Nan. Yeah, that's about it. Trade. We do have 28 tungsten, which is pretty good. It's a decent amount of tungsten for a miner, and we have 18 steel. So our resources will probably be okay for the short term anyways. And we have available 3 factories to build stuff with, which isn't huge. 4 military factories, templates. 14 with cav with a tank, which is pretty weird, but okay. 12 with infantry. 12 with infantry. 12 with infantry. It's like a bunch of different flavors of 12 with infantry. Alright. We have 5K rifles and a bunch of artillery in reserves. Like, let's start training some guys then, I guess. Give these guys the that icon. Now let's take a look at our national focus tree. We've never played the Feds before, so I don't really know what this looks like. Like, not really a huge focus tree. Like, there might be some hidden stuff. I'm not sure. So you have restructuring the provincial armies, which gives us 1 bonus for land doctrine. Fair enough. So I guess this is our military tree over here. Guangdong Star over here. So it looks like this is going to be our industrial tree. And it seems like that's probably our political tree. So our industrial tree starts off with a 100% research bonus, which kind of sucks. Usually you don't want to take a 100% research bonus until like you would want that like after you've done one of these techs over here. Like usually after the 1937 tax, like maybe we're better off going for this stuff over here first. But like, what else we have over here? We do have to think about our economy a bit. All right, so we have 1 bonus for land doctrine over here, and on this part of the tree we have 1,000 rifles. We get. It's not too bad. We get 1 research bonus for industry over here too, which is pretty good. But this costs us 5% consumer goods. And we get 30% production efficiency growth for 60 days. That's weird. That's weird, but okay. We get radio technology for free. It's not bad. Support artillery research bonus and a military factory. And we have 1 bonus for anti-tank and anti-air guns each. Over here we have 2 air bases and some air experience gains, some air experience. I mean, that's okay. Air doctrine, a military factory, and a pretty minor boost to fighter production cost, and 1 bonus to fighter tech. Is it best China though? I don't know. Personally, I thought Ma Zhongying's Hami Clique China with an opium den in any corner was the best China. So over here we have a choice. We have either Southern Mobility or Northern Firepower. Mass Assault or Superior Firepower. Given the two, I would probably pick Superior Firepower probably most of the time. Although in China, we might have some supply problems, so maybe D battle would be okay. Let's see here. So it's just the research bonuses, though. Maybe we should go Mass Assault. I don't know. That's a pretty funny meme, right? Go Mass Assault. Reinforce rate's pretty good. Added supply grace. And we get the negative 20% from this tree over here. 5% reinforce rate there is pretty good for you get some buffs for tanks and shit and the continuous offensive. There's some good stuff over here. But I think we're probably gonna be wind up playing with maybe infantry with support artillery for most of it, and then you get these bonuses and this bonus here pretty sick for that. So I think probably Superior Firepower is a better choice. So we get integrated militias, get negative 10% training time, and reinforce rate plus 20%. That's obnoxious. But I guess we get that. We have over here, we have experience gain, planning speed, max planning. Okay, I guess that's much less exciting. Attack and defense and core territory. And division org, 10%, division attack, division defense, and synth. So it replaces your core buff with permanent buffs. That's not too bad. Lessons of the Yu-Gui Wars. So we got another bonus for land doctrine over here. We get a free division template. modernized infantry division template. It's probably a 7.2, and developers and stuff seem to think the 7.2 is like a great improved army logistics, division attrition and supply consumption minus 10%. That's pretty good. And logistics company. Bonus for mountaineers. 2 bonuses for engineers. That's not bad. Free recon tech. And some fortifications. I guess that's our military tree. Unfortunately, no tank bonuses at all, which is pretty harsh. 3rd Shantou Conference. So I guess this is if we stay on the Chen Jiangming route. We get some political power, we get some reconstruction plan. Political power gain minus 20%. Consumer good factories minus 2.5. That's not too bad. We pay 90 days to suppress some bandits, and we remove national spirit, modernizing Guangxi. So I guess that's how we get rid of the Guangxi struggling economy, I guess. Fair enough. Integrate provinces. Yeah, do we? We'll see. Negotiate for reunification. Fair enough. And over here we have industry research bonus, efficient political power gain and efficiency growth, a stack of factories, stack of infrastructure, construction speed 5%, 2 infrastructure, something about some coal mines. So maybe that's it's probably either factories or steel. Renovate Guangdong Arsenal, get a military factory over there, get another research bonus for industry. Research slot, political power gain and efficiency base, production efficiency cap, political power, merge all Guangdong related ideas, fair enough. Self-governance, get some power gain, stability, political power gain and stability. Party popularity. Consumer goods factories minus 3%. That's alright. So we can do that, or we can do Republican United Front, which costs us political power. We get a little bit of popularity for some different people. Consumer goods minus 5%. Stability and construction speed. I don't know. I'm not sure what exactly all the paths do, but that's a national focus room. We gotta pick something. I think maybe we just bite the bullet on this industry tech. We'll get the low value industry tech, and then we'll go for the research slot first, maybe, and maybe pick up some civilian factories. We are a little bit behind on the research, anyways. Maybe we'll start building some more civilian factories too. I'm also not sure. I think Guangdong is in the west or something, right? So if we're going to play maybe over here. Build up our one tile there. Do we have an Air Force or a Navy? I don't think so. Of course we don't. Governor Chen addresses the Provincial Assembly. With war and chaos raging from Shandong to Fujian due to the collapse of the League of Eight Provinces, Governor General of Guangdong, Chen Jiangming, made a speech at the Guangdong Provincial Assembly today, addressing a number of issues facing the province. Chen assured the Assembly that neutrality in the conflict to the northeast was the only logical way forward. The stable and prosperous province of Guangdong needed to look inward and focus on improving the province and its inhabitants' livelihoods. The people needed to show the rest of China that the provincial democracy and civilian government was a model to follow, forming a believable alternative to the monarchists in the north, the warlords throughout China, and the false revolutionaries of the Kuomintang. Well, I'm pretty sure the Kuomintang are real revolutionaries. I mean, they blow a lot of shit up, don't they? This was Chen believes the only way to bring peace and unite all of China in the long term and rid of tyrants once and for all. Towards a free China. We get to score 50 PP off Chen's sick speech. What a lad. Alright, who we got here for generals? Do we have anyone special? What's this over here? Guangdong Clique Officer. Well, this guy's pretty good. Chen Jitang over here. Got a brilliant strategist and a war hero. That's very nice. Infantry, politically connected and war hero. These guys get some pretty good generals here. Not that you can really grind all that much out, anyways. So we are going to be Guangdong Click, I guess. We might as well go with. I guess we go with Chen Jiangming. He's our field marshal. And we might as well go. We might want to save this guy for our tanks, though. So let's go with Jiang Guangnai over here. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You lose everyone with a rival clique trait. Real Federalist play Sichuan. Which Sichuanese faction is supposed to be the Federalist one? Like there's the Armament Corps, and then there's the Officer Corps, which is the what is that? The Right Kuomintang guys are the Officer Corps, and then there's the Industrial Corps, which I'm pretty sure aren't democratic. Anti-concessionist riots in Guangzhou. Anti-concessionist sentiments have run high in Guangdong ever since the concessions were first created. Hong Kong, Macau, and most recently the German presence in Guangzhou are all continuing visible symbols of national humiliation that remain very personal to the people of Guangdong, the province which previously included these concessions. Black Monday shook the hated German presence to its core, and with the League now gone, the Chinese sycophants and puppets can no longer protect them. Inspired by the riots further north, the Guangzhou anti-concessionists made their own demonstrations in the city's German quarters, which quickly turned into riots. Local police turned a blind eye while several German businesses were damaged and a German citizen was attacked and wounded. The situation was only calmed with the intervention of the Merchant Corps, which managed to disperse the demonstrators. Chen Jiangming, while calling for calm, openly sympathized with the anti-concessionists and criticized both the unequal treaties and Beijing's inaction. The bold statement was well received by the people, but some cannot shake the feeling that the imperialist reprisals are already on their way. Let's hope it doesn't escalate. It probably escalates, doesn't it? What, in Sichuan? You flip to them when you lose in your current province. Actually, OP. I don't know. Are you talking about the Federals or Sichuan? German ships bombard Guangzhou. As feared, German naval forces in the region launched a retaliatory strike on Guangzhou. 2 destroyers entered the Pearl River Delta and, after awaiting a moment to show their flags, opened fire into the city. After firing their salvo, they remained in place for another moment before retreating back into the South China Sea. While damage to the city was relatively limited, the message was very clear. Germany's presence in China remains. Should any of our lapdogs of the German imperialists succeed in restoring order to this former league, we only expect them to have significant German support when they try to retake Guangxi from Guangdong. They will pay in time. National Congress. Man, it's only March. Jeez. Peasants request financial aid. The province of Guangdong has not been spared from the consequences of Black Monday, regardless of how unwanted German influence is. Peasants have been hit particularly hard as they struggle with the decline of price of rice and grain. Elected representatives from the rural districts arrived at the provincial assembly to make their case, requesting financial aid to weather the storm. Chen Jiangming, receiving considerable support from the peasants and rural landowners throughout his government policies, certainly wants to accept, but the financial situation of the province may make such a program impossible to implement and finance. Yeah, we'll help them. Of course, yeah. Joint military exercises. The armies of Guangxi and Guangdong were until recently under separate commands. To further improve cohesion between units and officers of the 2 provincial armies, military exercises have been held fairly regularly. While this had significant benefits for both armies, these exercises have made it more and more obvious how superior in quality the Guangxi army is over its Guangdong counterpart, even if the former is essentially subsidized by the latter's government. The maneuvers have been, so far, excellent opportunities for the governor of Guangxi to show off his province's military prowess. Guangdong finances, Guangxi fights. We get 50 PP off that. We'll use. Ooh, we can get partial mob. We don't have PP for that. No, we go early mob. I'm not actually sure if that was the best use of our political power, but whatever. I didn't check our decisions. This is just, we get extra tungsten, I guess, and then we have like the usual fixers, and then as a Chinese faction we have to worry about army reform. Merchant bailouts. Similarly to the peasants' crisis last month, a number of wealthy merchants have hit serious financial difficulties caused by the global economic crisis. A number of members of the provincial assembly with ties to the merchant class of the cities and towns have made the case the provincial government should intervene to keep these merchants from economic ruin. The influence of the merchants in Guangdong is significant, and their continued political support is essential, but such a bailout would of course be costly. We've got no consumer goods factories anyways. Let's see. Alright, so we'll do Guangdong Star and we'll go do our education reform. Alright, we're no longer financially aiding the peasants. Wonderful. Suppressing illegal gambling. Ever since entering politics in the years before the Xinhai Revolution, Chen Jiangming has been fighting an arduous battle against gambling in the province. A problem plaguing the province along with opium addiction. In the 1920s, he managed to have it completely banned, just as with banning the trade and consumption of opium. However, enforcing this ban has been a difficult task and removed an important source of revenue for the government. The Provincial Assembly recently began debating its effectiveness, with a faction pushing for loosening anti-gambling laws. The governor is adamant that this would lead to a return to moral degeneracy in Guangdong. Bunch of degenerates here, eh? And along with increased corruption without truly decreasing crime. While his opponents in the assembly claim that the laws are wasteful and impossible to enforce, instead pushing for its re-legalization and re-establishment of gambling taxes. Guangdong is, of course, a democracy, and the Provincial Assembly will vote on the matter. What do we have here? So we can choose negative 50 political power, that sucks, or negative 15% stability. Ooh, jeez. You know what, we'll just pay the political power for now, I think. Officer Department seeks asylum. So yes, the Officer Department is lost. Sure, we'll pick up some generals. Maybe those guys will be okay. That's not bad. You're a brilliant strategist. So I guess these guys were also flagged as being part of a clique too. Alright, go back to building with our 4 factories. The economy is so strong. Chinese faction in the north, what, Xinjiang? Over here? Really? I guess we could do that. Labor dispute. Guangdong province has proven itself to be one of the most progressive in terms of labor issues. Unionization has been encouraged since the early 1920s, and one of the largest of these is the Union of Machinery Workers. The strike in 1921 being one of the more well-known acts in recent memory. With increased industrialization, it appears that another labor dispute is imminent, and the machinery workers are threatening to go on strike once more. The provincial government under Chen Jiangming has been presenting itself as a mediator for disputes between workers and businessmen. which has been largely successful thus far as the governor maintained a reasonable approach to solve these issues peacefully through compromise. It is expected that Governor Chen will ensure that a compromise is reached between the union and the factory owner, but it's plausible that the Chamber of Commerce may use their power in the government to influence the settlement in their favor. Political power or stability. So the compromise slightly favors the merchants. Do that. Education reform, and we'll go get a research slot. Oh, we have a merchant coup, really? Really? Maybe that's what we should be doing. We saw as a coup. Do that. Make sure we do that. Let's get ourselves. I think we'll probably just go concentrated industry at this point. That's dispersed. And we'll probably be making the same stuff for a while. So that might help. Yeah. Trying to keep up on your tank tech. It's always good to have tanks. I already deployed the divisions. Alright, to get an extra research slot, let's go for maybe a land doctrine. I think we go superior firepower. Do the financial reform. And then we'll get ourselves our civilian factories. There's also an advanced Civil War first. Wonderful. Let's use some support artillery. Indochina declares independence. Well, good luck, Indochina. We're going to have to die. Hopefully that Civil War doesn't take too long to start, too. I'd like to get that. I'm only going to play for like another 20 minutes. It's getting pretty late. And I'll pick up later on. Deering, you're safe. Yeah. Alright. 37. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit. This is gonna be a while. We're probably not gonna make that then. Unfortunately. Concentrated industry, very nice. Good, nice concentrated industry. New industrial zones. Famine in the north. Well, the news of a famine in the province of Sichuan has already reached Guangzhou. Before them, an official delegation from the Trevor province arrived today. After speaking with Governor General Chen Jiangming, they pleaded before a provincial assembly for support. The moving words showing desperation, coupled with disturbing photographic evidence, made it feel far more real to the assemblymen than the newspaper headlines could ever convey. Disorganized and emotional discussions were quickly cut short by the assembly president bringing back order. An elected legislature ought to act like one. This matter will be thoroughly discussed before a vote will be held. At the very least, it is clear that the people of Guangdong understood the gravity of the situation of the countrymen further north to bring it to a vote in the assembly. I guess we do famine relief now. Relief vote begins. Emotions ran high during the debate. Skeptics were quick to criticize the Sichuan provincial government that allowed for the situation to worsen so much and the intense factional disputes there. There were divided opinions on the matter even among the organized political parties in the assembly. While few could argue about the morality of sending aid, it was clear that Sichuan was not only suffering from famine but from endemic corruption, which could very well make any relief effort a complete waste. Hopefully they'll do the right thing. As much as you can. I see. Chen Lianbo pressures the assembly. Chen Lianbo of the Guangzhou Chamber of Commerce, head of the Merchant Corps, spoke to the provincial assembly about the Sichuan famine. The wealthy Cantonese businessman, fond of philanthropy, was highly critical of the skepticism of many assemblymen and made it very clear that the provincial assembly wouldn't act. He certainly would and would publicly denounce every single member of the provincial assembly that voted against relief. The merchant was certainly influential among the higher strata of Cantonese society. His pressure could certainly affect the assembly's final vote in the matter. We'll see. Pressure of the assembly. It seems that the provincial assembly is far less united on the relief fund to Sichuan than hoped. After all, it was clear that any relief to the province may never reach the starving people and that it would be at another expense to the provincial government's fragile budget. Yet Chen Jiangming believed that despite the costs, not only was it the right thing to do, that it would put Guangdong in a good light and help the province's reputation throughout China. Of course, Chen also deeply believes in democracy and he must act within the law. While he could add further pressure to the provincial assembly, his intervention could backfire and open himself to public criticism or set a dangerous precedent for future governors. Let's not interfere with the process. Yeah. That's the coup guy, market liberal. Scoring some points there, I guess. Assembly votes yes. After several discussions, the Guangdong Provincial Assemblies finally voted on famine relief to Sichuan. A majority of assemblymen voted in favor of the resolution and a relief plan will be drafted. This will help Guangdong's national reputation and appears to be a success of the provincial democracy in China. Cool, we got 30 PP off that. Very nice. East Turkestan declared war. So you say we should help those guys, huh? I guess we can do that. Li Zongren should invade soon. His event chain. Fair enough. Mustafa Kemal sees his power. Good for him. Good for Mustafa. civilian factories. We'll go for restructuring the army, sure. Liu Rongting dies. Military governor of Guangxi and head of its clique since Xinhai Revolution in 1911, Liu Rongting peacefully passed away at the age of 77, leaving his adopted sons Liu Yuguang and Ma Ji as civilian military governors of the province. Governor Liu had been a living symbol of the revolution, the Republican movement, and the warlords era in general. Despite his early rivalry with Chen Jiangming over the control of Guangdong, the two began cooperating closely after the Qing Restoration, ensuring that Republican and anti-Qing ideals would survive. While his rule was disputed by Li Zongren, an exile in Yunnan, Liu kept Guangxi relatively stable and maintained its regional identity. With Ma Ji securing control over Guangxi clique, cooperation between the two cliques of Liang Guang now appears tenuous, and the ambitious new warlord plots to increase his power in southern China. Worrying. That's the event then, I guess. Li Zongren invades. Baize, a city which controls the mountain and pass connecting Guangxi with Yunnan and Vietnam, was attacked by Li Zongren, a right-wing general of the KMT, quickly overwhelming local defenses. Scouts report that the warlord split his forces, part of it preparing to go down the Pearl River to attack Nanning, and another heading to Wuzhou to cut off Guangxi forces. Li, taking advantage of Liu Rongting's recent passing, clearly hopes to dislodge the current Guangxi clique and take the province for himself once and for all, in the name of the Kuomintang. Ma Ji wants to attack Li and Baize before he has a chance to consolidate and move to Nanning, while Liu Yuguang wants to head north and keep Nanning from getting encircled. However, Lin Hu and one of her officers suggest we instead fortify Nanning, claiming that a Guangdong ally won't allow Wuzhou to fall, and Li should be forced to dislodge them. Let's go with Ma Ji's plan. Take the fight to Li. Defend Wuz. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, it don't matter. None of this matters. Wuzhou falls, Ma struggles and bays. As expected, Wuzhou fell to Li's troops as they followed the Opium Trail down the Pearl River. While Li was not expecting Ma's aggressive counterattack, his army is well trained and they are putting a stiff fight, and Ma requested reinforcements. On the other hand, Liu is worried that the enemy force in Wuzhou is exposing his flank and cutting him off from Guangdong, putting the entire province in danger if Guangdong doesn't react soon. We'll go all in on our boy Ma Ji over here. If he loses, it's his fault. Li Zongren defeated. After a long and bloody fight, Liu Yuguang's timely arrival forced the invading warlord to retreat. Both cliques have suffered heavy losses, but Ma Ji stands victorious. His position in Guangxi now is secured from his external rival. Okay. So I guess we won there. Or something. Big different field marshal there. Not that this really should matter all that much. Liu Wenhui seeks asylum. Sure. Take a free general. Or I'll pay 15 PP for... Hopefully he's alright. Other guys are just regionalism. Stick with the current guy for the feds. As part of the Chinese funeral traditions, Liu Rongting's body is on display at the former governor's residence, with family and close friends watching over the deceased. While Governor General Chen and some close associates were part of the guard for the day, unknown assailants approached him, brandishing handguns. A firefight quickly ensued. Well, Governor General Chen, okay. The assailants failed and lay dead. I guess we have to do that to keep Chen Jiangming. Failed attempt on Governor Chen, reacting in time to their assailants. Chen Jiangming and his associates managed to escape unscathed. It was quickly realized that they were under Guangxi Governor Ma Ji and quickly made their way out of Nanning. By the time they reached Guangdong, the Guangxi clique had already mobilized their armies ready to take leadership of Liangguang by force. Upon his return, Governor General Chen made an impromptu speech to the Guangdong Provincial Assembly, rallying them against the tyrannical warlord of Guangxi and to defend their hard-earned liberties. The diarchy falls. Oh, I guess this shit is on. I guess we play as our boy Chen Jiangming. The diarchy has fallen as the two provinces have been unable to settle their differences diplomatically. The new warlord of Guangxi is unwilling to recognize Guangdong's supremacy over Liangguang, and his ambitions cannot coexist with the ideals of his eastern counterpart. Both cliques have now taken up arms. Liangguang's future will thus be settled on the battlefield. Chen Jiangming will prevail. Maybe. Maybe? I don't know. So we'll do that. We'll do Superior Firepower Doctrine. Ourselves up to partial mob. Move into position for now, I guess. Why am I stuck on the field marshal? There we go. Alright, thanks. Thanks for watching. See you later there, Burning Paladin. We'll see if we can win this for our boy Chen Jiangming. See, and then you're back again, Sun Mingo. Thanks for tuning in again. I think we're probably gonna end soon. Let's play safe and just try and kill this unit here, I think. Firepower, experience gain, max planning. We would go for the military factory. Yeah, that's like not the greatest use of our researches, but military factory is a military factory. Even if the artillery bonus is going to be low value. Okay, Spirit Firepower, we'll go for next doctrine. See if they decide to defend Nanning. Let's go loop around this way, I guess. Got the vaccine. Oh, the last stream end. Austria fucked us again. Things are going pretty good. Until SRI declared in Austria, and then Austria just folded. Like, we're starting to get some encirclements going. We're killing some guys in Netherlands, and then Austria folds. Yeah, I don't know. I have a couple other ideas that like might work in that situation, but that's like, it's a lot of effort because you have to do the build-up phase every time. And I think if I'm going to play that scenario again, it probably won't be on stream. And if I do manage to find a solution, then I'll post it. Otherwise, I'll probably leave it for a bit. You guys go over this way. Yeah, that's actually fine. So move into Gulen. Well, that was super easy. Chen Jiangming secures Liangguang. Despite internal opposition and the revolt of Guangxi clique, Chen Jiangming has remained at the head of Ligang Gang. With his rule and popularity more secure than ever, he will have the ability to push further towards his goal. His ideals should the situation the rest of the region allow it. A federal and truly democratic China. Chen will free China. Yay. 100 political power. Yay. Reintegration of the rebel army. For the most part, the soldiers and even generals of the warlord or provincial armies tend to be more concerned about defending their homes from invaders and bandits rather than matters of national importance. As such, we can reintegrate the rebel army with relative ease once their treacherous leaders are dealt with. After all, they are fellow Chinese. Even if they are previously served the wrong master, they can still redeem themselves or return to their homes. They now serve a greater purpose. So then we lose. Then we lose the political power we just got. All right, so that's not too bad. Pretty easy civil war. And I think it is getting pretty late, so I think this is about the time we end the stream. So thanks for tuning in. We'll probably continue this campaign maybe like maybe Sunday afternoon. We might play this game again. But thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying the content, and we'll see you guys next time. Larry Freeman signing out.